There we
Good
go.
morning.
Yes. And what a lovely morning. Good morning.
Good morning. We've talked the whole night through.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning.
It's great to stay up late. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Roast, a special Sunday edition, and which is apt because with me today I have Mr. Corey Hardiman.
Good morning.
Good morning, and we're going to be talking about Sister Mercy. But before I get into that, Mr. Corey, you're a new guest with us on the show today. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like, what made you get into, what got you into comics? What made you decide to start doing them for yourself? Yeah.
Well, like everybody else, I read comics as a kid, and then I hit my early 20s, and I kind of, late teens, early 20s, and I grew out of it. And then I had a son when I was in my mid 20s. So when he was, so this would be about 20 years ago now. And as he got a bit older and he got into comic books, I started reading him Wolverine comics. I bought the entire series. Comics were a bit cheaper back then. And I was able to buy the entire series and read them in chronological order. And I used to do all the voices of all the X-Men, right? So which was a lot of fun because every character's from like a different country. So there was like all these different accents. And as I got up to the more recent ones, I realized I started enjoying them myself. And like I got up to like Wolverine, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. and then Civil War. And I'm like, my God, this is awesome. I need to keep reading it. And the next thing I know, I was hooked on comics. And then a friend of mine reached out to me and we started writing one for fun. And another, we made a Facebook page, and some just a random guy I didn't know then, I do know now, reached out and said, why don't you try putting it on Kickstarter to get it funded and get it going? And 4 years, about 2-3 years later, now here we are on issue 4, or just finished issue 4 now with the graphic novel coming out and working on issue 5.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah, and it's growing steadily.
Yeah, so you've been doing this for a little bit then.
Yeah.
You've got the whole Kickstarter thing down packed then.
Yeah, I guess it's a little bit anyways. Always room to learn and grow, right? So there's something new with every campaign. It seems like there's always new challenges and new things to learn.
Yeah, I need to learn about Kickstarter and stuff because I haven't really got a lot of connections, I guess, with Kickstarter like I should. I know a lot of people in the Indiegogo scene and stuff like that, but Kickstarter is a little bit more foreign, I guess, to me. I know a couple people that promote, Kickstarter stuff, and I know a couple creators that primarily do Kickstarter, but that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
I really need to broaden my network over there.
It's quite a wide community, that's for sure. I've met quite a wide range of people since I got in there. Some really, really cool folks too.
Oh yeah, that's what I've loved about doing my little YouTube show here is all of the people from all over the world I've got to meet, and a wide range of personalities. Some I've really connected with, some maybe I've kind of, not rubbed me the wrong way maybe, but it's been so interesting and I've made friends and it's been great.
Right on.
Let me see. So how did you come up with the idea? Here, let me bring up the campaign real quick. How did you come up with the idea of Sister Mercy?
It was almost like it was built in. I was at work one night. I was a shipping clerk in a food distribution warehouse, and I was just working back shift, and it was like 2 or 3 in the morning, and a friend from the other side of the country messaged me, and she was an artist, and she was actually, I shared some Moon Knight pictures on my Facebook page, and she started asking me, who's this character, and I explained it to her, and she said, well, I draw and you write, because I was known for trying to be at least a fiction writer. And she said, why don't we create a comic? And I said, okay, well, how about a nun walking through the desert called Sister Mercy? And it was just right there. And I never had thought about it before that moment, but it just all came out like instantly. And then it just grew.
Awesome. Yeah, that's pretty awesome how it just just throw something out there and it just grew, just building off of it and it turned into something awesome.
Yeah, it was nuts. So and it's been all roads going forward so far, all positive. So hopefully to keep that going.
And so you've put out multiple issues now through Kickstarter, and this is like the first volume of like a kind of like omnibus.
It is. It's the first 4 issues together into a graphic novel, and also this campaign on that picture to the right, The Art of Sister Mercy. That's another comic-sized edition that features all of the pinups and variant covers and various. It's 24 pages long. All the various things that we've done over the first 2 years. When I originally launched, I called it the Sister Mercy Sketchbook, but another comic co-creator, Richard Boom, a really good guy, he had suggested calling it something closer to an art book, since sketchbooks denote, you imagine unfinished pictures and uncolored pictures and sketches and stuff like that, whereas this is actually all finished artwork. So that's been actually quite successful, this campaign. Something new for the returning backers that don't necessarily want the graphic novel, that have read all 4 issues. So trying to put something new out there for everybody, or something for everybody, I should say.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that would make sense. That way, yeah. You even though like they've already got all the issues, you still get them as customers in this campaign as well.
That's the hope, yeah.
And this is good for those of us like myself who never even knew anything about this book.
Yeah.
this is a good jumping on point.
And well, and some of these variant covers that I've commissioned for the first couple of issues are just absolutely beautiful, and only like say maybe 100 backers on a particular one. So that's the only people that are getting that cover, and I just feel like the art needs more exposure than that, and I don't want to re-release those variant covers and go back on devalue what's already pre-existing, but I still would like that art out there so people can appreciate it. So I figured this was a good way to do it.
Oh, that's cool. Let me see. Oh, we got some folks in the chat. Let's see. Pale Rider's with me. Okay, glad to see you, Pale. He says, "Where is everyone?" That's what I'm wondering. Everybody ain't here yet. That's probably my fault though. I kind of set this up a little bit and didn't get to promote it as much as I should have, because this isn't part of the regular schedule. And Sim, he has a stream today in the afternoon, so he's probably snoozing. What's he saying now? Is that Irene in a nun outfit? No, it's not Irene. Gosh. Oh, we got Johnny Cage. He says we got him all for. Oh Lord. He says hot nuns are hot. Oh, there you go. Oh my.
We're all going to hell.
Well, there's a bunch of degenerates that come into this chat, like Pale Rider and Johnny Cage. But this is probably for all the folks in the chat. This is probably a new to them as well. Let's see. Oh, Mr. Fisk. He says, "Hey, Mr. Fisk." So how many pages is this all? Since it's a big omnibus.
120 pages.
Ooh, nice. And how much just to get, like, say, just one issue here? Like,
you would want the cheapest version on the cheapest tier that actually has the graphic novel in it. I believe it would just be the Paradise Lost cover A. Because I also with this one now, I should also mention, when I originally started, I had a colorist who did issue 1, and then I hired a new colorist who did issues 2, 3, and 4. So when I put them all together, I wanted the same colors for all 4 issues. So I had issue 1 recolored. So what you see there with the Sister Mercy #1 Redux, that's issue 1 re-released with a few new covers and the updated coloring. So the actual graphic novel itself is Paradise Lost, which has all 4 of them together.
oh, okay. So that first issue then is probably going to be a valuable collector's item.
I hope I made it into a collectible, because all those original covers they're gone out of print now. So the people that have them are the only people that are going to have them, right?
Oh, great. What's Johnny Cage saying? He said that horse left the barn a long time ago. Or well, I think you'll be fine, Johnny. Oh, and this is a story of a nun in like a post-apocalypse world.
Yeah, it's basically like Joan of Arc living in the world of Mad Max. She's led by the voice of God on her personal little crusade and quest across this, post-apocalyptic wasteland, just filled with all kinds of, mutinous grotesques and dark occultists, and just a whole plethora of dangers.
And whether or not it's really the voice of God, do we know?
That'll be up to the reader to decide. That's one of the interesting little things there, just like with Joan of Arc, right?
Does Argus? No, he doesn't. He doesn't need to know that either. Gosh, every time I get a new guest on here, he starts. No. And besides, you know it, how it goes. In order to go and tell that story, I got to get a backer on this campaign. I blackmail my chat.
Right on.
A strong arm 'em. Let's see. Mr. Fist says, any chance of a Sister Mercy / Mary Boys crossover? Ooh, that could be neat.
I love the artwork for Mary's Voice. I really, really do like that. I'd love to at least do a pinup. I think the worlds are a little bit too different for any type of legitimate crossover, but for a pinup or for some artwork, I would be, oh my God, I'd love to do something like that.
Yeah, Chubb, oh man, he does such great art.
Oh yeah.
I've got some of his original art over here.
Oh wow.
And then I got, of course, Mary Boys over in the pile. Like all this is pretty much all crowdfunded books.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, Mary Boys is somewhere in there. But yeah, he's one of my favorites so far of crowdfunded. But yeah, you've got a lot of covers. That is something I've noticed about Kickstarter. There's a lot of covers.
Yeah.
And every campaign seems to have the nude variant.
Yeah, they're so successful. They're so successful.
Yeah, I mean, if it works.
Well, my very first campaign that I launched, issue 1, when I went in there cold with no following whatsoever, I think I was 2 weeks in, and it was floundering. It wasn't going anywhere. It wasn't going to succeed. So I started looking at other Kickstarters that were doing well, and I saw the skin sold, right? So I contacted my artist and I said, how quick can we spin out a new variant cover? And so we did, and immediately the campaign reached the goal within a couple of days as soon as we put that cover down. And a lot of backers were asking, a couple were asking if there was interior nude content as well. And I said, well, there is now. So upgraded the story from what it was originally intended to into a much more adult version, but still trying to stay true to the original story and trying to the NSFW content, trying to let it contribute to the story instead of just having it be there and throwing in a shower scene or something like that, right? It actually, hopefully it elevates the story. That's the goal. Whether or not it does is another, remains to be seen.
You don't want it to like take away from the importance of the story and stuff and just make it kind of just some like low budget booby comic or something. That's right. Which is funny actually, because with issue 4, I felt like I went a little bit overboard with the nudity, and it was so funny. It was personally myself, as the guy who wrote it, is probably my least favorite of the first 4 issues. But so many backers wrote in and like, love issue 4. Issue 4 is my favorite issue, and all of this kind of stuff. Right? So it's really funny the way it works out. More boobs.
Yeah, that's right.
Chris says Sugar Rush equals Red Dress War. That's right. We gotta get that Sugar Rush. Let's see. Red Dress Diaries come the summer. No, it's not. No, it's not. You're not making a Red Dress comic. God. Let's see. JK says, yep, those are all crowdfunded books Chris got there. Most of them never been read.
Pretty pictures in them, though, right?
Dang it, Johnny. Well, they accuse me of not being able to read, which I can read. I just read what was it yesterday? I just read Grave Robbers here from Mark Middleton. Yeah.
So was that an Indiegogo campaign? Was it?
Yeah, that was the Indiegogo one. Oh, I just got liquid on it. Yeah, it turned out really good. I really liked this one.
Right on.
It was really good. I really enjoyed it.
I definitely want to explore more on Indiegogo. I think I've only backed 2 or 3 projects on there that friends have done. I haven't actually gotten on there and thoroughly explored it the way I have with Kickstarter.
Yeah, most of this is Indiegogo. I've only had a couple Kickstarters.
I'm the same. I'm the exact opposite. I got a whole box of Kickstarters and a few Indiegogos.
Let's see. JK says, but I like booby comics. Well, hey, there's nothing
I'm glad
wrong with
people
that, do. Then you might be interested in Sister Mercy. There's some boobies.
Well, that's her story, yeah.
Miss Fish says, there's a reason Game of Thrones was such a hit. Sex position.
And that's, again, I'm by no means comparing myself to George R.R. Martin, but that's the sort of level of nudity I was going for. Like, there's a fair amount in every episode. You're almost, you're going to see something, I guess, but it's not necessarily, like you were saying, doesn't overtake the story, right? So
Yeah.
it has that adult element too, which I just like the fact that it's again, anything like that written for adults rather than a more juvenile audience.
And then what's this? Johnny Cage saying? He said, "Oh yeah, did you read the last page?" No comment. Moving on. I didn't read Grave Robbers like a week ago. I just read it. What's today? Sunday? I just read it Friday. Give me your sass. It's been like 2 days. I'll read another one. I'm gonna read. What was I gonna read? I don't remember. Oh yeah, I gotta read some stuff that I downloaded, and then I might read Lost Pages, maybe. All right. Anyway, daggone chat. So you've got the whole Mad Max, the car scenes and stuff. I see.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. It reminds me, looks like more like Twisted Metal there, the wild setups and weapons.
Yeah, that's right. I haven't heard that reference for a while. God, I used to love those video games.
Oh man, those were cool. I only got to play Twisted Metal like once or twice. Unfortunately, I never owned the games. I just kind of rented them. But I did own, I think, a Nintendo 64 game called like Tank Assault or something like that, which was similar. And oh man, I had so much fun.
Oh, right on.
Just driving around, dropping little turrets down, and just watching everything blow up. Oh yeah, that's gonna be cool. Let's see. And you got all the different tiers. I see.
Yeah, I was checking out Indiegogo. Actually, that was one of the things I really say I like about their platform is how they have a picture with every tier, or what they call perk. That's really advantageous.
Oh yeah. Does Kickstarter have add-ons?
Yes, they just added them probably within the last year.
Yeah, I think that was a really nice addition when Indiegogo did that. Being able to customize your order, but it's been really nice.
It's a bit of a nightmare when shipping internationally, trying to figure out the cost of add-ons and not trying to overcharge on either side, them or myself, right? So it's definitely challenging to say the least.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like issues now with shipping nowadays. Everything's costing so much.
That's for sure. Yeah, and shipping out of Canada is expensive. I have it down pretty much right to the dollar of what I expect to pay at the post office, but it's definitely a bit more expensive than shipping within the United States.
All the creators are telling me that Australia's wild.
Yeah,
to Australia right now is super expensive.
Yeah, it is. It is a lot. And actually, my understanding is I don't even think there is shipping between Australia and the U.S. right now. There's actually a temporary stop on that. I've seen a few campaigns actually say they can't currently ship to New Zealand and Australia.
Wow. That's crazy. That's Johnny Cage Slayer saying. He says, yeah, you shouldn't compare yourself to George R.R. Martin. You seem way more committed to actually finishing your story than him.
Yeah, that doesn't take very much commitment, I don't
think. Well, I mean, I don't know. It seems like George got a little money in his pocket, and he was just kind of like, do I really need to?
I think he went from being one of those guys who lived his life in a room as a writer that's nobody heard of, all of a sudden to center stage spotlight and just, living the fame and no time to write and just, living in the lap of luxury.
Yeah, he's enjoying it while he's got it, I guess.
Absolutely.
Mr. Fisk wants to know, are there a lot of Christian references in Sister Mercy? Are we going full on biblical rapture level stuff?
There are a lot of Christian references in Sister Mercy, Sister Mercy. That being said, this isn't a book that's trying to save anybody by any means, but it goes a lot into Catholic mythology as well, extra biblical stuff. Like there's a prophet called Malachi that made this prophecy about it's a list of all of the popes right up until the end times, and the final pope is supposed to be called Petrus Romanus, the Black Pope. So I borrowed heavily from that prophecy to create my villain in this. And there's definitely a lot of Bible references, but put into a more different light, I guess you could say.
So it's not going to be like preaching at you. It's just telling the
No,
story.
exactly. Exactly.
Oh, Mr. Fisk wants to know, is that an Ontario accent I'm
Nova,
detecting?
Nova Scotia. But I did live in Ontario for a couple of years. Originally born in Newfoundland, but I've been all over most of Canada.
Let me see here. Oh, new tier. Oh.
Yeah, that one came in a bit late. I would have loved to have had that ready at launch. I wasn't expecting it. About a week after my campaign launched, my interior artist, Ricardo Silva, dropped that in my lap unexpectedly, and it was just beautiful. And I said, yeah, I got to get that colored in out there as soon as possible. That's I really, really love that picture.
Let's see. Oh, hey, there's Inkfinity. Hello, Alejandro. He says, stopping by to say hi. Well, all right. Oh, Dave. Hello, sir. He says, all right, me babbers. Hey, Dave. And he says, is Slim asleep again? I think so. Which sucks because I think he would have liked this book. I think this would have been up his alley. Let's see. Jai Kate says, you gringos all sound the same. Fist says he works with some newfies. He says, I'm just to your south in New England.
Right on. It's like that. New England's like Canadian part of the U.S. Or at least Canada, as I understand it, being on the eastern seaboard.
Oh, you can get a commission done. I see
those all sold out within the first 2 days. Every campaign, Ricardo puts up 10 of those, and they go almost instantaneously. They're so fast, and every now and then a backer will drop and drop that tier, and whenever it happens, somebody else picks it up within an hour or two. It's remarkable.
Wow.
It is.
Well, I can see why he does good work.
He's amazing, yeah. And it's funny because with every issue, you can just see his talent growing more and more and more. I'm really excited for issue 5, which is coming down the tubes. It looks amazing.
Yeah, I mean, like every one of these pieces all look pretty dang good. Yeah, it's a good thing you grabbed him up before somebody else did.
He actually he approached me. It was just so as I was saying about Sister Mercy, my friend out west had contacted me, and we worked on it together for about a year. That was about 8 years ago. And then it fizzled out and stopped for several years. And Ricardo found it on Facebook and messaged me and said, I'd like to draw this character. So I commissioned him to draw one picture, and I loved it. And I said, well, let's reinvigorate it and bring it back to life and see what happens. So if he didn't message me that day, she probably would have never come out of the dust. Right?
Wow.
The dustbin, I should say.
Yeah. Well, I wonder how often that happens, where the artist contacts the writer saying they want to draw for him.
Right. Yeah, I'm definitely blessed to have met him too. Right. So
yeah,
he's an amazing artist.
Yeah, it seems like he's done an amazing job. Bringing this creation to life.
Yeah,
and putting your vision on the paper.
And plus, I've been privileged enough to work with a lot of other artists that have done guest variant covers too. The list is growing, right? And it's and I have a long list of other artists that I still want to work with, right? But it's there's definitely some really, really great talent out there in the indie world. That's for sure.
Yeah, Kickstarter is definitely a place I want to kind of get more folks from onto the show, because it seems like there is a lot of great talent over there.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing a lot of cool work. I try to look through Kickstarter, but there's so many campaigns, and then you got to sift through. And a lot of times I find a cool campaign. I'm like, oh yes, I'm gonna get that guy on. It's gonna be cool. I'm gonna reach out to him, and then I check, and like the campaign ended like a year ago.
Oh,
and I'm like, oh dang it.
I find when I usually get on there, sometimes like this month in particular, there's a million campaigns on Kickstarter. I had no idea this is my first time doing an October campaign. I had no idea it was going to be this busy. But when I get on there looking for something myself to read, I'll usually do a search by popularity, and I usually brings up probably the more interesting ones.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can search and search and search, and then I'll still see books that I've never seen before.
Oh yeah. Plus, there's a campaign dropping every 5 minutes lately, it seems like, too. So there's a lot to choose from.
Yeah. Overall, there's things I like about Indiegogo, and there's things I like about Kickstarter. Kickstarter, it seems like they handle like the promoting and the like way to search for books better than
Okay.
Indiegogo, but then Indiegogo for me does other things better.
I agree. From what I've having done a little bit with both, I couldn't agree more. Some of them, pros and cons to both sides. That's for sure.
Let's see. Did I put the? I'm pretty sure I put my link in the DM group. Yeah, I did. If anybody wants to join from in there. Okay, making sure. Let me check here. This says one could say it was divine intervention.
Pretty apt, yeah.
Let's see. He still says that none is well. Whatever your fantasy is, Pale Rider. If it gets you to back, if it gets you to back it, sure. But Corey will not say that.
I don't know why I read, so I can't say.
She's a fun person. She's doing a book called Fiendish through Indiegogo.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah, and we've had her on multiple times. And I'm doing a Pathfinder tabletop RPG stream with her where we
Right
play
on.
a game on her channel. And yeah, she's a lot of fun. She's a cool person. Let's see. Oh, Mr. Russ is with us. Mr. Russ Leach. Hello, sir. Good to see you. Mr. Russ is doing Only Death Can Save Us on Indiegogo.
Right. I'm going to have to get on there and check out all these campaigns.
Oh, there's so many.
Only Death Can Save Us. Is that what you said it was called?
Yes.
That's got a ring to it. I really like that.
Yeah, that's what Russ is doing. It's somewhere in here as well. We got Amanda B with us. Hello. Good morning. I hope everybody's doing well. I'm glad to see people are starting to filter in. Scotsman. Hey, Scotsman. I ain't seen you in a while. He says, morning, Shug. Hello. Scotsman's a colorist. He's done work for Mr. Sim and various other folks. He's a great colorist.
Oh, right on.
He's done really good work.
You can never know too many colorists, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Amanda B says she doesn't like the payment for Kickstarter. Agreed. Yes, that's one of my biggest gripes about Kickstarter.
So
I hate that.
I just had a backer. So I have an original art tier, which is a 1 of 1, which is the original art for some of the graphic novels. And I had a backer on day 1 take that tier and lock it up, and they just dropped it last night with 6 days left. So that's a little bit. I mean, I understand, you know what I mean? Like, stuff happens, and I hope that he's okay financially and no bad will towards him or anything like that. But it's unfortunate when you see that dropped, and it's like, okay, well, it's 20 days. Other people could have had the opportunity to take it, be paid for it, right?
Yeah. It sucks. Yeah, because then it's hard to plan out your finances when you don't even know when necessarily they're going to take your money.
Yes, yeah, that too. Yeah, exactly.
So that's been one of my biggest frustrations with Kickstarter.
Yeah, I couldn't.
And then also another reason I held off for a long time backing anything on Kickstarter was another creator, Vinny Tardamella. He was doing a book and on Indiegogo, and he only does it through Indiegogo.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, his book was on Kickstarter under someone else's name.
Oh.
Yeah. And so he immediately tried to have it, got rid of because it was somebody scamming people.
Yeah.
And messing with him.
Wow.
So he reached out to him and they didn't do anything for a long time. And another person who, works with a government organization that involves stuff like that had to reach out to the Kickstarter to get him to finally do something about it.
Wow.
It was wild.
The balls on whoever did that.
Yeah.
Right. Like, wow. Holy crap.
Yeah. Like, that's messed up.
That is really messed up. I guess it takes all kinds, right?
Yeah. I was like, who the hell does something like that?
Yeah, that's nuts.
Wait, what is this? Oh, I'll be right in with my red dress, Chris. No, you won't. I don't even know what you're talking about. Get out of here. Gosh. What's this? Number 2. Number 2 what? I'm confused. Let's see. Johnny Cage says, "Yep, Only Death Could Save Us is on Chris's pile." Did he read it though? Yes, I did, John. I read Only Death Could Save Us. I read it on the way to one of the cons. Don't give me your sass. This is what I deal with every morning, Corey.
It's rough.
This shenanigans. Oh my! But for those who are just joining us, real quick, Corey, for the because we got a lot of folks back into the chat. Would you want to give the pitch again?
Sure. Yeah. Tripping over my words. Sister Mercy is the story of a schizophrenic nun led by the voice of God across a post-apocalyptic wasteland. Basically, a modern day or futuristic Joan of Arc living in a Mad Max type of setting. Very, very adult. A lot of adult subject matter. A lot of religious overtones, but not trying to save anybody. There's definitely it's definitely a very, very dark story. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. So would you rate it like an R?
Yes. It's so funny actually. When I first started out, after the first commissions, a few people were razzing me that, oh, you're just, trying to use boobs. It's all your story. And I'm like, I'm not showing anything more than legs. There's like less skin showing than Wonder Woman, right? Mm-hmm. And then it wasn't long after that, like I was saying, we did the issue 1 nude variant cover, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess I got to walk that back a little bit.
Well, maybe a little bit.
Right? So then I'm like, okay, well, it's just boobs. It's not like porn. There's no actual sex or anything. And then issue 3, I'm like, okay, well, I guess I got to walk that back a little bit too. So, so it gets very, very adult. So Lord knows where it ends up. No pun intended.
All right, let me check here what they're saying. Oh, Mr. Fist says 1 week left on Infinitale Chronicles Indiegogo campaign. I'm already prepping the fulfillment stuff. Yes, Mr. Fisk is doing a campaign as well, Infinitale. It looks really good. He got some really good artists on that one. It's kind of it reminds me of World of Warcraft. It's very high fantasy.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but it looks really good. I made sure to back Mr. Fisk.
Growing up playing D&D, that would be right up my alley.
Yeah, I never got to play any tabletop until playing with Irene. I never had friends growing up. I had the first edition of D&D, and I was like, "Oh man, this is so amazing! I love this monster, the monster manual and all."
Yeah.
But then I never even knew the rules or anything. I just read the monster manual because I was like, "Well, I can't play that. Might as well just read this."
I remember being prior to the age of 12. I used to always want to play it. None of my friends even knew what it was, had no interest. I had never seen a book of it. I was just seeing the cartoon and was aware of it and wanted to play. And when I was 12, we moved to a new town, and all of a sudden I met a group that played D&D. So I was in heaven. So I could be busy for like the next seven years or so.
Yeah. Yeah. Irene's killing me, though. She makes me wait like 2 weeks before we do another session to play.
Oh, hopefully not on a cliffhanger ending.
Every time, Corey, it's a cliffhanger ending. What dicks? But Mr. Fisk, 1 week left. Oh, I gotta get him back on before that week's over. But I'm all full. I'll figure something out. I will figure something out to get you on the show. If I have to do another one of these, like a special show to get you on, Mr. Fisk, we'll get you on. I want to do at least one more before his campaign closes. Mr. Fisk is a good guy. Johnny Cage says, "Nah, they were just helping Vinny reach an alternative audience. They just forgot to tell him." Amanda B says, "Only Death Can Save Us #2 is the current campaign."
Do they have #1 available as a back issue add-on on there or anything?
Pretty sure Mr. Russ has #1 in there. Usually they have a catch up.
Cool.
For new folks.
Yeah, I definitely want to get on there and back a few Indiegogo campaigns around the 1st of November, or between the end of this month and the 1st of November.
Let's see. Fist says the Book of Eli plus Joan of Arc plus sexy nuns equals Sister Mercy.
Nailed it.
Yeah, that actually.
I love the Book of Eli. What a great reference too. I love that movie so much.
I remember my dad liked it. I never got to watch it. I only seen clips, but it did look pretty dang cool.
Yeah. Anytime a movie pulls off one of those twists that I don't see coming, I'm down for it. And that Book of Eli did that.
Russ says that Sister Mercy art looks fab.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks. I'll be sure to let some of the artists know that I've been blessed with some of these guys that I've worked with. Yeah, for sure. I can't pronounce all of their names. A lot of Brazilian artists, but yeah, amazing work. That picture showing right there, that's a back cover by Derek Stevens. That's on the back of every issue.
Oh, that looks pretty good. But yeah, I like this. This is a pretty cool looking book.
Right on. Thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with it, I must say. It's a lot of fun.
And the cheapest it looks like is to get a physical copy looks like about $15.
Nope, that's just the issue 1 Redux.
Okay.
Yeah, you need to go up to $15. Is just the PDF version of that is 15. So you would Paradise Lost Standard Edition would be the cheapest.
This one, the $20 one here.
Nope, that's still Sister Mercy 1 Redux Standard Edition.
Oh, dang it!
Right.
Dave just kickstarted all their tears.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And again, this is why I really like Indiegogo.
Here we go.
How they have those little pictures above every tier. I love that. I think that's great.
Okay. This one here, Paradise Lost Standard Edition, the $40 one.
Yeah, and that's in Canadian dollars too. So that's probably probably like $250 US.
Yeah, I think it says about $33 for me.
Oh,
Okay, so it's 40 Canadian for 120 pages.
And it also comes with the PDF and the original version, 6-inch by 9-inch original cover virgin art. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble saying that. And of course the stretch goals. There's quite a bag of stretch goals that's going in each package as well.
Okay. Manny B just asked if there was digital. Well, as I just aptly showed, there's a lot of digital.
Yeah. Again, one of the disadvantages of trying to do this from Canada is the shipping, right? So I always have to make sure that there's digital there for the people that, the extra shipping cost. Yeah, it really bites. It really does. I backed a Kickstarter campaign, and I guess, I don't know. I think down in the States, you guys have something called media mail. I don't know if this was how that was sent, but I had a price tag stamp on it of $3.50. And I was like, wow, I couldn't imagine mailing a comic to somebody for $3.50. If I were to take that exact same package and drop it in the mail here in Canada without even opening it and just mailing it back to them, it was $12. Right?
Wow.
That's the difference. It's insane.
Yeah. You got to be a little careful with the whole media mail thing. But yeah, if you can get it media mail and sent out, it's real cheap.
Yeah, we have nothing like that up here at all.
Dang, that sucks. Let's see. Dave's putting a link out for his book, the fairy tale anthology, that they're Twisted Fairy Tales.
Oh, that sounds awesome. That sounds great.
Let's see. Mr. Fist says the digital edition, aka Australian edition. Oh my. Okay, Kickstarter edition for Paradise Lost. So that's that special Kickstarter cover.
That's the Justin Chrome cover with colors by Gwinnell Dalago, and that's only going to be available on Kickstarter, and that's it. And I think that's the picture.
That's this one right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Beautiful piece of art, too. I love that piece of art.
Yeah. I hate to say it, but whenever I go on Kickstarter, because there's so many covers and so many different like perk tiers, I get confused easily. That's bad, but I do. I'm a simple man.
No, and I understand that wholeheartedly. And this is actually one of the things that I've been trying to battle with myself, is trying to set up the tiers in a way that to accommodate that shipping cost while also not trying to make it too confusing, right? Because the add-ons, when adding on a lot of add-ons, it can really mess around with the shipping, and it's so hard to try to figure it all out. So when I do an Indiegogo, I want to try to make it less confusing. So you say now on Indiegogo, most campaigns don't have as many covers, you would say, as a Kickstarter, or?
For Indiegogo, most of them don't, in my opinion. From what I've backed, a lot of them have, they have variants, but it always seems like with Kickstarter, there's always like 6 variants, or something. And then with like Indiegogo, there's like 2 or 3,
Okay.
Like there's like a considerably less amount, it seems like.
Interesting.
So on Indiegogo, usually like the perk level of perk, the list of perks is usually a little bit smaller, and then some of it have the add-on stuff kind of. Some of the stuff's only available on add-ons, so it seems like it's a lot more simpler.
Oh, okay,
At least
gotcha.
for me. Let's see. Mr. Fish says, F the USPS. They told me comic books don't qualify. Yeah, don't qualify for media mail. I'm eating shipping costs hard. One of the things you could have done, Mr. Fisk, was go to a different one. It varies from place to place whether or not they'll accept comic books as media mail. Technically, it's a little vague, but from what I've seen of the rules, technically, it's they are media mail as long as they don't have ads. As long as they don't have ads, they can qualify for media mail. So I would have went to a different one because, like here in Kaiser, I asked them, and the woman there, the postmaster, got very annoyed with me very quickly because I was like, "Well, it doesn't have ads," and she's still like, "No, it's still not media mail." And then I went like down to Cumberland to theirs, and he was like, "Yeah, comic books, yeah, that's media mail. You can bring them in." So, so it varies from place to place.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's kind of silly. Some of them will take it, some of them won't. I would just kind of shop around, or if you're really wanting to, a lot of these guys, I'm pretty sure, just take and box everything up, and get it ready, and then just send it out media mail. Just don't tell them what's in it and stuff. I think some of them do. Let's see here.
I'd like to look into a third-party shipper. The only problem is I found from the campaigns that I've backed, the ones that are really late are usually the ones that are involving a third-party shipper. And I pride myself on, so far at least, exceeding every deadline ahead of schedule, in some cases drastically. And I want that trend to continue. So I hate putting that responsibility on someone else and all of a sudden books start getting out late. Right?
Yeah.
That's one thing I really, really would like to avoid.
Yeah, you want as put as much of the responsibility on yourself as you can, I guess.
Exactly.
That way
Yeah.
you can guarantee the quality level.
That's right.
Yeah,
If I pack every parcel, I know it's done right.
I've heard almost every creator I've heard hates fulfillment, the fulfillment part of the whole process.
It can be
Having to
time consuming, especially if you have a successful campaign with I think my most successful one was my issue 3, which was 541 backers, and that was a lot of taping. That was a lot of packages going out.
I had thought about doing like a fulfillment service for folks, but I wasn't sure if I could get the costs down enough to be competitive with other people doing it.
Gotcha.
So I
I've
never
spoken
did
to a couple of guys that
commit to it. Like I think I could have, like, the numbers I had was cheaper than some guys, but not as cheap as others. And I thought, well, but I ended up not doing it. I was like, well, I want to help, but because I want to just help people. But then I was like, I don't know. I just didn't feel like I was able, to be competitive enough or something with these other guys, and I just didn't go for it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Russ says he only does one cover. If he does Kickstarter ever, he'll do a different exclusive one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I did the Kickstarter exclusive as well. When I go over to Indiegogo, it'll be Indiegogo exclusive stuff also.
And he says he'll probably wait till he does a trade of all three before he gives the Kickstarter.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, it seems like a good idea.
That's pretty much what I've done with Indiegogo, just doing it the other way around.
Yeah, Dave, come on, put some links out outside of your own. Dang it, Dave. Soul ain't here. You got to fill in for him. Wow, he fought with 3 different post offices, and they all 3 told him that they weren't media mail. That's crazy, Mr. Fisk.
Wow.
They don't know what they're talking about, man. Exactly. There you go. Box them up. Say they're independent books. There you go. Wait a minute. What? All right, Dave. It's about time Chris trusts. I ain't trusted Pale Rider with a wrench. Gosh only knows what he'll post in my chat. Hey, Horror Radio. He says Simon's not here again. Lazy ass. Yeah. Well, he's got a stream in the evening to do and stuff like that, and this isn't part of our normal thing. So I'm okay with that. It's understandable. But yeah, this one does look really cool. I am pretty interested in it.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a sneak peek at the interior art there with the updated coloring.
Okay. Okay. So this is the first 4 issues. So are we going to get a lot of looks into like the world and maybe like what happened to cause this post-apocalypse and
Eventually, all questions will be answered. Like I think the ending to this came along pretty early in the conception, and I definitely it's a there's definitely a solid beginning, center, and end, and I say all questions are answered in the way insofar at least as I want them to be answered. I guess there's a few loose ends that are there intentionally, but for the most part, yeah, it's going to be a complete story by the time that is finished.
All right. And you were referencing the main, I guess you'd say, antagonist as being kind of like a Black Pope.
Yeah.
Could you give us more information on him?
Yeah, no, it's the villainous aspect of this is it's a twisted version of the Catholic Church. It's a more satanic version of the Catholic Church, basically, and this guy assumes this the role of the Black Pope, and he's the most powerful person basically in this world, more or less, right? And he's and it's Mercy's path is to eventually find her way to him, and I don't want to say too much without giving away too much.
Oh, right. Yes.
But it reveals a little bit more, with every issue, of course, right? So,
Amanda B says, "Do you have a time frame for the Indiegogo?"
Well, I'm hoping for November the 1st. As soon as my Kickstarter ends, I would like to launch on Indiegogo. That being said, I've never launched before. I think I've got the campaign pretty much put together, and I just got to click launch and go, but I don't know if they're going to come back with a window that says, okay, now there's going to be a 2-week waiting period or something. I don't know. It's my first time doing it. So I'm hoping to. I definitely have an Indiegogo exclusive cover all drawn up too.
Shoot, Sim ain't here. Is Russ still there? Or Dave? Maybe Dave. If one of you folks, I think Dave, I think you're in the DM room, and I think Russ is too. If either one of you are free and would like to come on, maybe you could tell Mr. Corey some things about Indiegogo, because they're both creators and have had to deal with that.
I've only talked to one other creator that's used the platform, and he's only used it to a limited amount as well. He's still learning also. So definitely I'm open to any advice that's out there, that's for sure. But I got to say, though, I do really like the platform. I'm very, very impressed.
I've talked to a lot of creators, so I know some things about what you should and shouldn't do, like setting up the campaign page, but like that sort of technical stuff, I don't know nothing about it.
Gotcha.
Let's see. Oh, Woodrow's here. Hello, sir. Let's see. He says Corey is compensating for the distinct lack of Canadian presence that Sim's absence is.
I'm bringing the geese.
Russ says it's instant as long as everything is set.
Perfect. That's what I was hoping.
Dave says usually when you hit launch, it'll just go live straight away as long as you filled in all information. And then Russ says sort your email list and let everyone know when you launch. Get a pre-launch page to gather more email addresses.
Okay.
Yeah, there's like a mailing list you can use to sign, get people to sign up for. And then when you go live,
that's something I've slacked at is gathering emails. Another friend of mine that's a comic creator really emphasized the importance of that, and it's something that I've really got to really jump on.
Oh yeah, Mr. Fisk is duh.
Yeah, it's I got to say I really love their platform for setting stuff up. It looks so much smoother too. It's more pleasing on the eye to sort through it.
Yeah. Like in terms of like usability and interface wise, I really prefer Indiegogo. I feel it's much smoother and everything.
Yeah,
it's just let's see. Uh, yeah. When you do your gosh, I had a brain fart there for a moment. When you do your Indiegogo, we're definitely gonna have to have you back on.
Right on.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, I'd be there for that.
oh,
Them for sure.
do you have a launch person, a launch stream? A lot of
No.
times when people do Indiegogos and they launch their campaign, they do like a launch stream. So when
Oh,
they'll hit the button on the stream, and it goes live, and then everybody just, the people in the chat can try to back to be number one and things like that.
that's a great idea.
Yeah, a lot of people do that.
Wow.
Yeah. There's a fellow named Michael Bancroft. He does that for a lot of folks. He does, he's a bigger name. Or you can get some other YouTubers to do it. Pops, Indie Gold, I guess, might do it. I would do it.
I'm on. I'm on with Pops on the 30th of October. Actually, the day before my campaign ends.
Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah. Pops is good for good folk. Let's see. Fist says Indigo is super easy setup. Amanda B
Really?
says, I agree. Indiegogo is more user friendly, especially as hashtag just a fan. Yeah.
I like the fact that the money's taken from my account as soon as I buy something too. I really like that instead of surprise bill a month down the road.
Yeah. It drives me nuts. I actually recently backed a Kickstarter, and I was like, okay, I backed it, and I forgot how Kickstarter was. I was like, and then like a couple weeks later or something like that, got a notification. Oh, money was taken out. I was like, oh gosh dang it.
Yeah. So I'm assuming then as a creator, then it's probably a lot easier. When your campaign is done that you're probably going to be getting all of those funds since they collect them right on the spot. With the Kickstarter, they take 2 weeks to gather the funds, so there's always a portion that they're not able to collect.
I'm trying to think how it
So
works.
that would be something probably.
I'm trying to remember how it went. If I remember right, it doesn't happen instantaneously. It does take some time for them to send you the money.
Oh, okay.
After your campaign ends, I think. And
Definitely
then
have
you
a
can
lot.
go. And then you go in demand. If you want, you can go in demand, and people
I saw that.
still continue backing.
I clicked on that. I thought that was another fantastic feature too that Kickstarter doesn't have.
Yeah, and I can't remember. Yeah, I think it's like 2 weeks. I think after your campaign closes, they send you the money, and then you're in demand. And I can't remember exactly how in demand works. Because Sim was telling me about it one time because he was dealing with some issues like there.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like you have to have like a backing every so many weeks or something or else it'll just send you little bits of money. I can't remember how he said it works.
Okay.
It's some other thing because he was saying about how because he wasn't getting backers like often, that it was all he was barely getting any money because every individual, because the way it was setting up, it was very good. I don't know. He'd have to explain because I'm just gonna be. Let's see.
I'll pick through it and learn a lot of them going for sure too.
Amanda B says she thinks it's a couple weeks after close of active campaign. Oh, Russ says it's less than a week usually. Okay.
Oh wow.
We got 24 hours with us. Hello. And then Russ says they keep back 3 to 4% when you go in demand, but you get that back after the first month of in demand. Okay. Okay. Yeah, in demand works like an online marketplace. If you don't gain backers within 6 weeks, they close it down. Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, okay.
But Sim was telling me something about how the cut works, like the amount of money they take out of it and different things like that works with in demand.
Yeah, I saw that. They sent me there was a window about how they hold on to a certain percentage just in case of refunds in order to be able to cover them for 6 months or something like that. Because
Sim was telling me something about how at one point in time with his campaign, how he was only getting a backer every so often, and because of the way it was working, those backings, by the time he factored in all the costs, he was only getting like a little bit of money.
Oh, okay.
It was almost like caught being a problem. I
Gotcha.
can't remember though. I can't remember what it was.
Hmm.
Yeah, I can't remember. I don't know. It might have been something that won't affect you. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll learn as I go. I have no doubt.
Yeah, and when we have you back on for the Indiegogo campaign, we'll try to give you some tips and tricks of all
Oh,
the things we've learned.
my ears will be wide open.
Uh, and if you do shopping around and you don't find anybody to do a launch stream for you, you're always welcome to do it here.
Right on. I
Certainly.
appreciate that for sure.
Mhm. Oh,
You
yeah.
definitely have an interactive chat. I got to say, of a lot of the podcasts that I've been on, yours is one of the most interactive, larger audiences. That's for sure.
Oh, we are a small channel, but we have a very awesome audience. I will say that we
Sure.
have a very dedicated group of people, and this was this wasn't even a normal stream. Normally we get a few more folks in here talking and stuff. Like Soul ain't here and stuff. Sim isn't here, so normally we got a lot more going on. But
Okay.
even then, we still got a dedicated group.
That's awesome. Yeah.
But yes, people, do go check it out if you're cool with Kickstarter. Do go check out the Sister Mary book, or you can wait till around the 1st, and he's gonna swing around the Indiegogo.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I don't know. Should I wait till Indiegogo? I'm not sure. I might have to. Yeah,
I'm
I might have to
expecting
do it.
I'm expecting the Kickstarter campaign to have more stretch goals unlocked probably than the Indiegogo, where I've already got a following, right? So,
Right.
and I say I hopefully I'm wrong. I mean, obviously, I would love it to be as successful as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you go on the Indiegogo and you manage to do some of the promotion streams, do the circuit, so to speak, and you get on
Yeah.
on the bigger folks' streams, and you really get to spread your word around and get a lot of eyes on this, you never know. You might surprise you.
Yeah, I hope so.
This is a good question. Will these commissions be available on Indiegogo?
No, those are just because the two campaigns are so close together. He's going to be having his
Mhm.
hands full with the Kickstarter ones by the time the Indiegogo ones launch.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. You speak about stretch goals. Let me see what you got here. You got stickers at 5K, fridge magnet at 7.5. Oh, a poker chip at 10.
And the first 5, I think, are unlocked. Yeah.
Oh, trading card.
Again, these are listed in Canadian dollars.
Yeah, this is so you've already made some good money.
And that is not where that picture should end. So that tells me that, yeah. Oh, well, when I uploaded my last, there's another stretch goal that doesn't appear on there. I got to go in and edit that. I updated that picture and it must not have saved. They've also unlocked a 6-inch by 9-inch art print as well. And
Okay.
or that's the next one that's up at 17.5 is the 6 by 9-inch art print that goes in every issue. And the very final stretch goal, if we're lucky enough to reach 20K, it's going to be an original art prize draw. We still have some of the original pages from some of the earlier issues, and we're going to draw 5 grand prizes, and like we've done with some of the past campaigns, and they're going to receive original pages from some of the earlier issues. And for minor prizes, I'm not sure how many yet, but we also have I have the original concept art from the artist, which has like 4 pages on each page with a sketch. And I'll be drawing those as backup prizes, consolation prizes, I guess you could say. So there's going to be a fair amount of extras going in.
Awesome. All right, let me check the chat here. Fortunately, the post live views are new. Yeah, I get some good after the stream's over. We get some good replays from folks, so we do get a lot of people checking it out. And I'm glad we're getting to promote you. And this, if nothing else, if nothing else, we're getting some early promotion in for you for the Indiegogo campaign.
Which I didn't expect, and that's a bonus for sure. I'm going to need all the help
Yeah.
there I can get.
Well, a lot of the folks here in the chat are very heavy Indiegogo people over Kickstarter, so a lot of them are probably gonna, if they're gonna back, they're gonna probably wait for that Indiegogo.
Yeah.
I figure. Let's see here. Hear that? All right, Johnny Cage. Don't let it get to your head, okay? Mr. Dave says, a great show. Good luck with your campaign, Corey. He's got to go eat lasagna.
Oh, lasagna. That sounds good.
That does sound good.
Thank you very much, by the way.
I haven't had lasagna for a while. I just had some scalloped potatoes earlier.
My girlfriend makes a mean lasagna. She's out there making apple pies this morning, so I'm looking forward to that.
Hang on. She's a keeper.
Yeah.
Mr. Fisk says Kickstarter requires less hustle/stream guests, but they determine your visibility. Indiegogo is all you, but at least you're not buried if someone at Indiegogo doesn't like you.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, Indiegogo don't really do much in the way of promoting you. It's mostly like you got to go out there and do all the legwork.
Yeah. It's funny on Kickstarter, you see some of these campaigns will get that tag, project we love, and all the power to those guys that get it. I mean, that's great. I would never expect to get that with my subject matter. I don't think that this would be a project they would love very much. If they got a project we cringe at, I might get that one, but that's about it.
Project we hate. No, I did see something here on your bio. It said you were bored with the mainstream.
Yeah, I just, it's the last 10 years or so. Like, as I was saying earlier, I got back into comics because I was reading them to my son. And when I got up to the, Civil War and some of the more modern storylines, I'm like, wow, these are great. Like, I just loved it. Everything right up till Dark Reign was awesome. And then all of a sudden everything changed. And it's like, okay, everything sucks now. So I stopped buying them. I still buy Moon Knight. I'll always buy Moon Knight. I have almost every single appearance that he's ever had. A hardcore Moon Knight fan. And that's the only comic from the big two that they publish that I have any interest in now. And actually, I'm in full credit where credit is due. The current run is fantastic. Jed McKay, the guy that's writing it, is just, wow, what an amazing run. But yeah, I can't really say as I got a lot of interest in most of the stuff that's out there right now. It just seems so watered down.
Yeah, I stopped trying to keep up with the big two around early 2000s. I'm a fan of like really old books.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I don't really keep up with the more modern stuff, but Moon Knight is one I've never actually got to read.
Yeah,
I've never got to read anything with him in it. It's weird. I've never seen any of his books to even buy them.
It's so funny, as a kid, I know now as an adult, well, I mean, he's getting more popular now, but growing up, Moon Knight was a very obscure character. But when I was a kid, it seemed like every time I turned around and picked up a comic, he was in it. So I thought he was as popular as Spider-Man and the Hulk when I was a kid because I seen so much of him. It was just a fluke that I would always happen to be at a comic book store when there was a Moon Knight comic there, right? So, yeah, it was just funny the way it worked out.
I never had a comic shop, so I always had to buy comics through like yard sales and flea markets. And so for me, I was always finding like, I guess, obscure books. And I was like, oh, this guy's cool. And I never knew anyone who read comics until like I started doing this, this whole online and meeting people through social media and getting like a social circle. And so I'm like, yeah, what about this guy? And they're all just like, who are you talking about? What is wrong with you? Or they'll be like, yeah, do you ever know about this? Yeah, and they'll be talking about some popular guy, and I'll be like, no. And they're like, yeah, this run by this and this creator, and I'm like, no, don't know it.
That's one of the things I like about indie comics too, is that the creators, you're seeing a creator's unfettered imagination. If they want to put in extreme violence, extreme content, extreme nudity, whatever they conceive of, if they want to put it in there, it's in there, and there's no industry standard above them telling them they can't do that. and
Mhm.
that's what I like seeing, right? So it's I just like seeing a writer's unfettered imagination, a story the way that he originally intended it to be told. Love to see that.
Mhm. I just love all these interesting ideas that you would never like you'd never see in the big two. Like there's
That's
so many
right.
different characters, different ideas. Everything in the big two is always like the same characters doing the same kind of thing.
That's
Like
right. Yeah.
I could see all kinds of different genres, settings. You know, every even when they go to like a different setting, it still has to involve like Batman or something.
Yeah, that's right.
like like Batman's got it's gotten to the point where Batman just is he's not even like what's he really stand for? Because he's like every character. He can be anything.
I'm
Like,
totally
oh well,
Batman out. I couldn't even get
yeah,
excited over the new movie trailer. I've got no more. I used to love Batman, but no more interest in him whatsoever. Just really faded over the last few years.
yeah. Like I'm just like, stop. Like I've seen that. What was it? Batman? Was it Dark Metal or something?
Yeah, it was popular. Again, nothing I got into. I know that was
Yeah,
definitely
I looked at it and I was like, really? Now we've got like a whole multiverse of Batman? Like, come on, stop with the Batman.
yeah.
I was like, I'm not gonna read that. That don't interest me. I'm like the only time I've really got into Batman was when he stuck to being like a low level, like street level guy. Like when it was like a comic about him maybe fighting, uh, muggers and doing detective work and stuff. When
Yeah.
he wasn't like Mr. Preparedness Man and had everything in his utility belt and all kinds of crazy tech and gadgets.
A lot of
Like,
people a lot of people wrongfully compare Moon Knight, as they call him, Marvel's Batman. I can see why
yeah.
they do, but it's the exact same thing. I like him best when he's street level fighting
Mhm.
thugs. Some other writers will take him almost to god level powers for a few issues, and then it's just like, okay, I'm only buying it for the appearance at that point, right? But
Yeah.
is when it's grounded, that's when the stories are best for sure.
Like there was a Alex Ross book I read. I'm pretty sure it was called like War on Crime or something. I think with Batman, and I
Okay.
thought it was pretty good. Cause yeah, I always liked Alex Ross's art with them because they made him look like old kind of strong men. And but
Hmm.
he only used like batarangs and like like smoke and stuff. Like that was it. And his costume looked kind of like a fabric. You know,
Okay.
and like he's just fighting criminals, and then he ends up like kind of trying to help this like young boy, and then it flips over and shows him as Bruce Wayne doing stuff to try and like fix the city with his money and trying to improve like the poor areas and stuff. Like
I think
I was like, yeah, that to me seems like Batman.
the last Batman comic I bought was Batman Hush, and that was 20 years ago. So they were good back then, though.
Yeah, I think the like I'm trying to think of a Batman that the last Batman I really got, like in terms of like publication date, was like Nightfall or
Oh yeah,
something.
that's going back a little ways.
I loved Bane when he first showed up, like his origins and stuff. I have that comic still
Oh,
where it
cool.
talks about his origins and stuff, and I was like, man, that is such a cool character.
Right on.
And then after that, I never ever. It seems like to me after that he went downhill.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Let's see. Mr. Fish says everything sucks now. That's exactly why a lot of us indies started making our own stuff. Modern media has become a cesspool of woke sermons.
Couldn't agree more.
Mike Jimmy. He says over an hour running and Sim is still not here. Impressive. Yeah, like I said, he's probably snoozing.
Yeah.
Mike
Some good
Jimmy's
luck.
also a creator as well. He does Life on Korra, and he's recently doing a romance book.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, not something you see too often. It seems like so. That's
No,
pretty
that's for
neat.
sure.
Johnny Cage says the Joker is overrated and overused. Agreed.
Yep.
I agree completely with that. Pale Rose says the only Batman he has is the death of Robin.
I had that when I was a kid.
Yeah. All right.
I was the one that you had to call in at the end and say whether or not he lived or died, I think, or something like that, or write in and
Yeah.
they took him.
Let me scroll back up. Let me see. Oh, I never played your trailer. I should have done that. I'll do it now. Is the volume up? Yeah, it is.
Most of the oceans have dried, leaving only vast expanses of poison and toxic waste that give birth to horrors best left undiscovered. Stained red skies are smeared by putrid clouds of pollution that can be tasted in the repugnant air, while a wasteland of sand and detritus bury a past that has been forgotten by generations, the cities mere skeletons of their former grandeur. Welcome to the world of Sister Mercy, where a schizophrenic nun is led by the voice of God while battling irradiated grotesques and dark occultists. Like Joan of Arc reimagined for a much different, more desperate time, Mercy is a sexy, fast-paced trip to the final days of humanity. A nightmarish future born of God's darkest dreams, where everything that moves may not be living, but everything that moves is deadly. If ever there was a time to have mercy, this is it.
Oh, nicely done.
I just had that done like 3 days ago. Actually, I saw on Indiegogo it said projects are much more successful with the video, so I just threw something together really quick. And now that music is my that was playing in the background. That's done by my childhood best friend. Actually, he
Oh, really?
used that. Yeah, I
That's
really
cool.
really love that piece.
Yeah, that is awesome. Yeah, I personally don't watch trailers usually, except for when I play them on here.
Yeah,
Because I just don't care. I scroll down and I immediately go, how many pages? What's the price?
I'm
You know,
pretty
what's
much the
the
same
pitch?
way. Actually, I
Yeah.
usually skip the trailer as
But
well. It wasn't really a
but
top priority for me to do it until now.
yeah, but there are people who do really enjoy trailers. You know, um, Mr. Fisk says, "Hell yeah, that trailer rocks."
Cool, thanks.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so do go check this out, everybody. 120 pages you can pick up for $40, or you can wait till the first, and he'll be coming to Indiegogo. I know how people like their Indiegogo.
Looking forward to it too. It'll be really interesting to try that out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, how much of a turnover you'll have. Like, how many people come from Kickstarter to Indiegogo to back your project, or how many people in Indiegogo take notice of it.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I
Kind
will
of
say that based on the look of this book, this looks like something the Indiegogo crowd would be interested in.
music to my ears.
So but yeah, I guess I should start to wrap this up. It has been a little over an hour. Sim ain't here.
I can smell that apple pie out there.
Yeah, you've got food being made. I should let
Yeah.
you go. All right, but anyways, when you do, like I said, when you come around to Indiegogo on the first, if you want to do a launch stream, and you can't find nobody, bigger or something, you're welcome to do it on mine.
For sure, man. I'll be in touch for sure.
Yeah, and then if not, if you don't, and you find somebody else like Pops or IndieVolt, or I don't know, give them Bancrofts or something, and say you don't want to do the launch on mine, I'm still going to get you on sometime.
I appreciate it. I was on IndieVolt for issue 4, actually. He's pretty cool too. I enjoyed being on his show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Randy and Varian are cool folks.
No, hang on, I got that one mixed up. That was one I was on a few weeks ago. Yes, that was the one that was the Pitches Be Crazy. That was a blast.
Oh, you're on Pitches Be Crazy.
I had so much fun with that. I gotta say, I had a blast with that show.
Yeah, they're good folks. I've been on their show. They've came on mine. They're a lot of fun. Eric Hodson, I've met it. I've met Eric Hodson a few times in person.
Great show.
Oh, the day later. Hello, sir. I think you're new folk in the chat. Hello. It says trailers are handy when you're on live streams to promote your book. Well, there you go.
The day later. That is a really cool name, I gotta say.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah. But yeah, if you can't find somebody to launch, you can come on mine. If not, we'll promote you on another stream, like on the morning roast. And I'm sure you'll end up getting some backers when we do that one. Since it'll be more
Awesome.
Indiegogo focused, we'll probably get some backers on stream, and I'll probably end up having to tell you the story of the red dress.
I'm curious now. I've heard enough about it. I got to know.
I'd rather not tell you. Let's see. There you go. Yeah, hit up Red for his show he does on new books. Exactly. Yeah, when you do your Indiegogo campaign, Red Gaze will be one you're gonna want to hit up. He does a show where he has on new books and new folks,
Oh, okay.
and he does like sections of questions and stuff. And
Red
the
Gaze.
question is, Red Gaze.
Okay, cool.
And there's a, like I said, when we have you on, we'll name off a bunch of folks you can go, to connect you with,
Right
and
on.
some other stuff. So we'll wrap this up. And right there, Aaron comes in right at the end. Gosh dang it, Aaron! Why are you showing up at the end? I'm gonna have to message you, Aaron. I ain't talked to you in a while. Hope you're doing all right. But we're gonna wrap this up. Thanks everybody in the chat. Thanks Corey. It was great to meet you.
You as well. I appreciate
I really enjoyed this. I can't wait to talk with you again, sir.
Take care now.
Yep. So later, everybody.
Night or good day.